Okay, so close your eyes for a sec. Imagine you're walking, you're in the Scottish Highlands, and like the sun's coming through, you feel that crisp air, maybe a little wind,
Yeah.
and then you hear it, someone singing, this woman just singing out, her voice going like across these fields. It's so captivating. It just like stops you.
That's the thing about the solitary reaper, right?
Right.
Wordsworth, I mean, he just has this way of putting you right there with him. Like you're experiencing it too.
And he does it all with such simple language,
Wow.
too, right? From those first lines. Behold her, single in the field, yon solitary Highland lass.
Oh, totally.
He pulls us in. We're like, fellow travelers, right there with him, meeting this woman. But there's this mystery, too, right?
Absolutely.
We don't know who she is. What language is she even singing in? What's it all about?
And that's on purpose. Like Wordsworth wants to make us curious. He's pulling us in, making us want to know more.
Yeah.
But he also wants to think about like the power of what we don't know, all those things in life that, well, we just don't understand right away.
Think about it. How often is there something beautiful, something that really moves you, but like you can't explain why?
Happens all the time. Could be music, could be art, could even just be like meeting someone new, you know?
Sometimes it's the things we don't get that stick with us the most.
Yeah, I think so. And Wordsworth, he gets that. You see it in the poem. Like he compares the woman singing to a nightingale, you know, out in the Arabian desert, that beautiful sound, bringing peace to travelers. And then he goes even further. He says her voice is even better than the cuckoo bird in the Hebrides Islands.
He's setting a high bar.
Oh, yeah, he is. And I mean, it's not just comparing like actual birds.
Right.
If you think about it, the nightingale, that's huge in poetry. It's like a symbol of inspiration for poets. So when he says this woman's better,
Oh, interesting.
it makes you wonder, what's he saying about where true inspiration comes from?
Wow. Yeah.
Because on one hand, he could be saying that even everyday stuff is beautiful, you know, normal woman working and singing, that fits his whole romantic thing, finding beauty in the ordinary, listening to voices people usually ignore. But there's also something else there.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What else is going on?
Well, think about it. By putting her singing above even the nightingale, maybe he's saying something's changing about what inspires poetry.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe it's not just fancy forms and topics anymore. Maybe it's about those real raw feelings you find in everyday life. That was kind of a radical idea back then.
You know, it's wild that Wordsworth straight up says, I don't get the words she's singing.
Right.
Like he's left guessing. Is she singing about old, unhappy, far-off things and battles long ago? Or is it, like, simpler? Just some natural sorrow, loss, or pain? He doesn't know.
And that's what makes it so relatable, you know?
Yeah.
And Wordsworth is a super smart guy. He's touched by something he just can't understand. He's saying, like, yeah, language has its limits. But those human experiences, that stuff connects us all, no matter what, across time, everything.
It's like when a song gets you, even if you don't know the words. Could be a different language. Could just be like instruments, melody and rhythm. They just hit you differently.
They bypass all that logic stuff and go straight to your feelings.
Right.
And by saying he doesn't understand, Wordsworth is kind of telling us, just feel it. Don't overthink this.
And he describes his own reactions so well. He's motionless and still, completely focused, like time freezes while he listens. Just lost in how beautiful her voice is.
That's Wordsworth, the nature guy coming through. You know,
Yeah.
he puts her in the landscape, right? Her voice blends with all the sounds of the field. She's like part of this bigger thing, the rhythms of nature and all that.
But she's also totally independent.
Oh, for sure.
Single in the field, working, singing for herself, not a show for anyone else.
Makes you think about Wordsworth being there, doesn't it?
How so?
He's this outsider witnessing something really personal. He's aware that he's just watching, drawn in, but also separate.
Like he's this educated guy, she's a working woman, there's a distance there. But because he loves her song, he bridges that gap. He's saying beauty and power, that goes beyond like class or education.
Exactly. The Solitary Reaper is about art bringing us together, breaking down walls, reminding us what we all share. And it tells us profound stuff. It can be anywhere if you look.
I wonder, what if he just kept walking? Never stopped to listen? Would he have missed this whole thing? Clearly, it stuck with him long after the song was over.
And that takes us to another big point. The fact that Wordsworth carried the music in his heart long after it was heard no more. That's huge. Art, even a quick moment, it can change you. It's like he took it inside himself.
And by writing the poem, he wants us to do the same. Find those moments in our lives, the ones that really hit us, even after they're gone. It's crazy, right? This quick thing that happens, one moment, it's been around for ages, all thanks to Wordsworth's poem.
Yeah. It's like he caught the experience,
Yeah.
Bottled it up and shared it.
And think what that says about poetry. He's using words to, like, capture music, which is impossible to really do.
Yeah, he can't give us the exact tune, but the feeling, the way it hit him, he can do that.
That's what makes the Solitary Reaper stick with you. It's not just about the song. It's about how the song made him feel, what he thought about because of it.
Totally. Like he's teaching us a new way to listen.
No.
Not just with our ears, but like with our hearts, our imaginations. When he talks about carrying the music in his heart even when it's gone, that's just beautiful, how art stays with us,
We've all felt that, right? A song that takes you back to some specific time, a painting that makes you feel a certain way, a book that you just can't shake even after you're done.
It's powerful. Art does that. It gets in your memories, your feelings, becomes part of you.
It's like this thread connecting us to the past, to other people, to things we haven't even lived ourselves. And I mean, the Solitary Reaper, it's a perfect example. Wordsworth's little meeting with this woman singing, it was short. But because of his poem, people centuries later are feeling it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're right there in that moment, feeling what he felt.
And we're left thinking, man, art is powerful. It goes beyond time, beyond language, all of it.
Wordsworth's giving us this invitation, I think. Pay attention to those times in your life when you see something beautiful, something that moves you.
Yeah.
Could be a huge orchestra, could be someone humming on the street, doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Those things, they can change you deeply.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the Solitary Reaper, I'm curious, what's a song or even just a sound that stuck with you long after you first heard it?
Oh, that's a good one.
What does that tell you about how music shapes us, what it does to our memories, how we feel? Take a minute. Think about those sounds that are part of your story. What do they say about you?